A new NBC News Studios documentary premiering right here on MSNBC tomorrow night takes a deep dive into the life and the legacy of the father of the atomic bomb. To End All War, Oppenheimer and the Atomic Bomb explores J. Robert Oppenheimer creating the first nuclear weapon, his fallout with the government, and his fingerprints, and how we view war nearly 80 years later. Joining me now for this conversation is Christopher Castle, director of To End All War, Oppenheimer and the Atomic Bomb, and Kai Bird, Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer and journalist, and the co-author of American Prometheus, The Triumph and Tragedy of J. Robert Oppenheimer. Gentlemen, looking forward to sharing this documentary with the viewers later. But Chris, I want to start with you. There's so much buzz surrounding not only this documentary, but also kind of contemporaneously an upcoming Christopher Nolan movie on J. Robert Oppenheimer. You know, Oppenheimer thought deterrence against future wars was the goal, but now it's being wielded more as a sword than a shield. I mean, how would this ever be reconciled with what the vision was for Oppenheimer for creating the atomic bomb?
Yeah, well, I mean, he thought of, he thought that this would be the deterrent that, that's how he rationalized creating the bomb, was that, as the title says, to end all war, thinking that, after Japan, after everyone saw the carnage of Japan, that it would never be used again. Here we are, over 70 years later, and so far he's been right. However, there's still the threat. We see the headlines coming out of Ukraine. The threat seems, more real than it really has in the last 30 years. And so we're once again faced with, being that generation that has to be the custodian of this terrifying technology. And there are a lot of words of Oppenheimer's that, can kind of guide us in terms of understanding the importance of being responsible with this technology. Yeah, I mean, his story is more relevant, really, than ever.
Kai, you literally wrote the book on Oppenheimer, co-authored his biography. A lot of people don't know this, and I think this is historically interesting. He actually fell victim to McCarthyism. Can you give just a brief description of how that was for him?
Yes, that's what really makes his story so fascinating. He, triumphed as the father of the atomic bomb in 1945. His image was on the cover of Time and Life. And then 9 years later, he was brought down in this humiliating kangaroo court of a security hearing at the height of the McCarthy witch hunts. And he was accused of being disloyal to his country, maybe a spy, and there was no evidence at all for any of this. And he was literally just, he became a non-entity after this trial, and he was stripped of his security clearance and became a pariah, no longer welcome in the halls of Washington.
Chris, for this documentary, you interviewed a survivor from Hiroshima who describes what she had to go through after the bomb hit. Here's a quick clip from it. Let's take a listen. Maybe we don't have that. So I'm just going to say the quote of what she said. She said, "I remember every second. I've never been so helpless. I was under the debris and somehow had to crawl to the light and come out." As somebody who's creating a documentary like this, Chris, that we today feel like we're so far removed from what happened back then, but that type of experience for this woman, what was your reaction to her recounting those days? I mean, the beauty of that city, and then to have to go to that aftermath of destruction.
Yeah, I was blown away by her. Dr. Hideko Tamura is her name. I believe she's 86 years old. She was 10 when the bomb was dropped. And she's still, she's so vivid. Her depictions or her descriptions of that time were so vivid and haunting. She lost her mother, her cousin, her best friend. She searched, she got out of the rubble. She searched, for miles to find her mother. Only to find out later that, she had passed. And it's a scar that's, obviously deeply wounded her, but also, has guided her through the rest of her life. And, toward the end of the documentary, she kind of gives us really what I think the key takeaway is, which is that we have to find common ground. We have to continue to find common ground. We have to make sure that we never get to the point where this is ever used again. And it's a struggle that we'll continue with, ad infinitum, forever.